Hey, good morning, all you fine folks. A little morning tapping, morning coffee. So I was just doing some tapping, and I was actually following along to one of Brad Yates' videos, which I like to do other people's videos where they tap along with them. Sometimes I do my own videos, but I had this revelation during his video. It was a tapping video just for being happy. And I thought it'd be a good day to kickstart my day. I was feeling just a little tired, a little extra tired. Just been real busy, a lot of things going on, and a lot of good things. But I had a revelation during the tapping session that I sometimes, and I've definitely been guilty of this in the past in other ways, but sometimes I hold my happiness back, like I suppress it, especially around other people, because they may not be at that same happiness level that I'm really at, right? And maybe they're in a very negative state of being, negative state of mind. And sometimes I think that by suppressing my happiness, it'll somehow make them feel better, right? Because I don't want to come off as this happy, joyful creator of greatness if they're like feeling like real neutral or even low. Sometimes I do it without thinking, and I kind of suppress the way, my outward happiness is. I suppress that, thinking that somehow it's going to make them feel better. And it's the opposite, right? I can't feel bad enough to make someone else feel better about themselves. I can't feel unhappy or suppress my happiness enough to make someone else feel uplifted, right? So the only way for them to feel uplifted is for them to work on themselves, but I can influence them by maintaining my high level state of being. So I had that revelation, like, wow, yeah, I tend to do that. I still do it to this day. I sometimes let someone else's state of being, which I could really pick up on energetically, and sometimes I meet them where they're at. And maybe you do that too sometimes, even without thinking about it. And I think the thought process is, if I meet them where they're at, then somehow I'll make them feel better in a way. But it really doesn't work that way, right? You cannot feel unhappy enough or bad enough to make someone else feel uplifted. And it's really not your responsibility to uplift someone else, right? It's really on them to do it and work on themselves. But you could absolutely influence someone, seeing them in your mind as happy and joyful, seeing them in your mind as healed or whatever, right? You could even tap for them. You could do surrogate tapping. So there is a lot you could do, but you can't meet them where they're at and somehow they're going to feel better. It's just not going to happen. So I thought this would be a good video to do that, specifically around happiness. So let's go ahead and hop right in here. All right, here we go. Nice deep breath in. Let it go. Even though I sometimes suppress my happiness in order to make others feel better about themselves, I love, honor, and accept myself anyway. And even though I sometimes feel that if I bring my happiness level down to a more neutral level or even a low level, it will make others feel better about themselves. I love, honor, and accept myself right now. And even though I've been under this illusion that if somebody is not feeling happy, maybe they're even in a negative state of being, I've had this illusion that if I suppress my happiness level while I'm around them, it will somehow make them feel better. But I've had that all wrong. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself anyway. I choose to acknowledge that I cannot feel low enough or unhappy enough to make anyone else feel better about themselves. Okay, here we go, top of the head. This illusion that I can make others happier by suppressing my happiness. This illusion that if I suppress my happiness level, it will somehow make others feel better about themselves. This idea that if I meet someone where they're at, even if it's in a negative state of being, that I'll somehow make them feel better about themselves. But it doesn't work that way. I cannot feel unhappy enough to make others feel happier with themselves. It's an illusion. It's certainly not true. And perhaps I've been doing this my whole life. If somebody is not happy, then why should I be happy? If somebody is unhappy, then how could I possibly be happy around them? Besides, wouldn't that make them jealous? If they felt my incredibly happy energy by being around me, wouldn't that make them feel even worse? Because they're not at that level? Maybe they'd even be jealous. And so I suppress myself. I suppress my true, authentic inner self. That state of being that is always happy. I've been doing this mindset work, this personal growth work, and I've transformed myself. I tend to be happy for no reason whatsoever, because I don't need a reason. Because I'm grateful just to be standing here breathing and pounding on my chest with you. So I tend to be happier than most people who do not work on themselves. Yet, when I get around others who are not at that same level, I tend to suppress myself. And that's a real tragedy. I choose to recognize that I cannot feel unhappy enough to make anyone else happier. And even if they get mad at me for being too happy, it really has nothing to do with me at all. They need to work on themselves. And it's not my responsibility to tell them that. My responsibility is to myself to maintain a high level state of being. Maintaining a high level state of happiness, joy, love, and gratitude. And I choose to allow myself to do this now. I choose to allow myself to know that by maintaining a high level state of being, of happiness, I just may influence those around me to do the same. I do not need to take on other people's emotions or state of beings. Because if I do, I'm just going to walk around in a negative state of being. Because most people are in that negativity thinking, that negative thought pattern that's habitual. A lot of people are not walking around incredibly happy. And again, it's a tragedy. It is everyone's birthright to be happy all the time. Because happiness is an inside job. And so the best thing I could do for myself and others is to maintain that pure, connected state of happiness. It's my birthright. And it's my default mode. Happiness, and joy, and love. It's a fact that when I'm in a high-level state of being, feeling really good about myself and everything around me, that I'll be in heart coherence. I will create an electromagnetic field that's powerful while I'm in this state of happiness and coherence. And it's a scientific fact that electromagnetic field, that positive energy that I'm emitting because I'm happy, will in fact influence others around me. And so I don't need to say anything to them. I just need to be happy. That universal source energy around me will take care of everything else. I will influence others for the better. And if I really want to help someone else, I could do some surrogate tapping for them. Because once again, I'm influencing that invisible energy that connects all of us. There's no reason not to be happy. And once again, I choose to instill into my subconscious mind right now the concept that I cannot be unhappy enough to make anyone else feel better about themselves. And so I choose to be happy. I choose to be happy right now. I choose to be happy everywhere I go, knowing that it will influence everyone and everything around me by way of my heart coherence in the electromagnetic field that I will emit. And I will know that just by being happy and grateful, that I am in fact influencing others in powerful ways. So be it. It is true. I choose to be happy. I choose to allow myself to be happy no matter where I'm at and no matter who I'm around. It's my birthright. I choose to be happy right now. In body, mind, and spirit. Okay, nice deep breath in. Let it go. Hopefully that felt better. Hopefully you had some revelations about this. And remember, when you're in a state of gratitude, a state of happiness and joy, it is a scientific fact that there's an electromagnetic field created by your heart because of the coherence between the physiological state of your body, and it emits outward. And when you're in a negative state of being, or angry or unhappy, it's contracted. But that electromagnetic field, which they've been able to measure, it impacts those around you, even matter, any sort of matter around you. So it could impact your pets, your family, your friends, colleagues, the things around you. So it's pretty interesting stuff. So you being happy is actually helping everyone else. So keep it up. Have a great day. I'll see you.